Okay, so I gotta move quick because yesterday I was about 10 minutes late and today I'm once again running late. I was playing pickleball with my family. They whooped my ass. Not gonna talk about it, a little bit too early, but they cheated. That's end of the day, they cheated. Nothing more to say. But anyways, what we've got here is a beautiful marsh scene, and we have the waterway running through here, and the water is completely calm. There's not a breath of wind. Yesterday there were fish jumping, the water was disturbed. We have a few of these snowy egrets just walking around out there that are going to be really small. So I'm going with 6x17. I only have my 90mm lens. I really wish I had my 150, but what I'm going to do is just shoot this really soft, subtle scene. I'm going to use Ektar 100 and I'm going to go ahead and get fired off because as that sun sets, I want to switch over to my Hasselblad and just shoot this square crop right here, which is what I shot last night. I'll show those at the end of this video, but I really want to focus for now on the pano, catching all this golden light with this steely blue water, which looks beautiful. And then I'm going to switch over to Hasselblad and go ahead and shoot Ektar 100 again for the square crop, and then I'll switch over to slide film as that sun gets lower. We get a little bit less contrast in the scene, but let's go ahead and knock this one out. F32, ISO 100, 2 seconds, 1/8, 30th. Okay, I'm gonna go with a 1/2 second. I'm at F32, ISO 100 with the Ektar 100, of course, and I'm metering my shadows at 2 seconds. So I'm gonna go ahead and fire off the first shot at 1/2 second. As I mentioned, there's no wind, so the reeds of grass should be nice and sharp. I stopped down to F32 to make sure, and at 90mm, I should have no issues. The only thing I'm worried about is the front of this dock here. Not 100% sure it's out of my frame. I don't have my light cloth, so I'm using the viewfinder on the open glass. I don't see it coming in, but there might be a small shadow, so I'm hopeful that I'll have it out. As the sun gets lower, I'm gonna raise the front of the camera just a little bit to be sure, but right now the horizon has absolutely no interest. It's actually gonna fade to white. I almost want it to look like there is no horizon, almost like this center stream just moves to nothing, and my bird just flew away. What a prick. Now there he is, he's walking on the side. I'm just gonna wait for him to stop moving around because he was a key part of the image. Got my shutter cocked. I'm going to shield the side of my lens and wait for him to stop moving. These bugs are horrible. There he goes. Got him. Okay. This scan still needs some work. You can see there's not quite as much warmth in that grass, and the water's a little bit too purplish. I really want to get back to that steely blue you could see, but I love how peaceful this image is, and the light is absolutely gorgeous. Now that I got that first shot in the bag, I feel a little bit less pressure. I'm going to go ahead and pull up my iPhone to show you the viewfinder here, give you an idea of what we're working with. I am pulling up the Artist Mark II Viewfinder app. It is a paid app and it does cost $30, which is a lot for an app, but it is a one-time fee and it is worth every penny to me. You could put in different camera types, different lens selections, and a ton of different overlays like film emulsions, filters, and it even has a metering, which I don't 100% trust, especially for slide film, but overall it is fantastic. I use it all the time while the camera's still in the bag to evaluate a scene, and of course it's a really easy way for me to show you the scene that I'm shooting rather than trying to show you the ground glass. Oh, the bugs are testing my patience big time. All right, so we are at 1/2 second. And here is the scene. And as you can see, it looks like we're blowing out the left. I'm not worried about it. It's Ektar. We're probably overblown by about a stop, but I'm not too worried about that.
It also lets you capture screen grabs, which is fantastic for scouting.
That bird is really ruining my day. So I lost a pair of sunglasses today, my favorite sunglasses. I lost my other sunglasses a couple weeks ago on another trip. And you probably can't see this, but down here on the floor are these slats here. Let me go ahead and show you. And I just dropped my microphone and it somehow did not fall through. So got a little bit of luck going today. Finally, just see how many things I could lose in one day. But moron. Oh, please tell me you're gonna land. Please tell me you're gonna land. Right there, right there. Oh, you beautiful bastard. Okay, I'm gonna fire off 2 shots, one at 1/8. Oh, are you gonna land too? You might be out of frame. No, 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 no. No. Oh, yes. Stop, stop, stop. Yes. Okay. One of the blue herons landed, and then 2 more took off. But we still have this one here, and I'm going to fire this off before we lose him. Okay. Okay, so I fired off a full roll of Ektar 100. We still have a few minutes of this nice golden light, so I'm going to roll through 1 roll of Provia 100, and then I'm going to move to the Hasselblad, load up my last roll of Ektar 100. My goodness. And then I'll switch over to slide film and go back to the 6x17 and do it again. Shoot the pano as the sun drops below the horizon, and then shoot that same Hasselblad image after the sun drops. So we're going to have this nice golden hour shot, and then we'll have the nice soft light, and hopefully as that sun drops we'll get that nice pinkish hue as well. Last night we got the pinkish hue about 20 minutes after I packed up. Earlier I mentioned that I have issues with the adhesive on these Kodak films, and I'm not sure if it's the freezing or keeping them in storage for a long time, but what I always do is take masking tape, which is just blue painter's tape, and then I wrap it around. And this gives me a nice tight seal. It's especially important as I'm traveling because airport security might take this and want to look at it, and I want to make sure it's not going to be loose. So I always wrap it in a masking tape. There is a bug in my camera. Frick. How did you get in there? Oh, man. Okay, I'm gonna do my second frame at 1/4 of a second. First one was at 1/8 of a second. Some of these shadows over here are metering closer to a second. Now the highlights are at a 1/15th, so I don't want to go beyond 2 stops. Oh my goodness. Oh. I don't want to go beyond 2 stops in my highlights, so at a 1/15th I can back that off. 1 stop would be 1/8, 2 stops would be 1/4, and that's pretty much where I'm going to cut myself off. So I did the first shot at 1/8, and I'll do this one at 1/4, and this way that'll give me a little bit more shadow detail without blowing out those highlights. And I hope you can see, but that blue heron has not moved an inch, and is sitting exactly there. So this I think is going to be a really, really nice shot. And I'm really happy. Yesterday, all of this water was moving, and today it is just dead still. And there's perfect reflections, and the light and the color is phenomenal. So I probably seem a little agitated, and it's because I'm being eaten alive. But I'm thrilled with this composition and with this image. I think it's going to be gorgeous, and I can't wait to see these slides on the light table. Great. Okay, so the good news is the light is getting even better. The bad news is that jerk of a bird has moved and his silhouette is no longer out on the water. Oh, I can't take it anymore. Oh. So I'm gonna wait. I really think the image needs the bird. I need to switch over to the Hasselblad, so what I'm gonna do is while I wait for the bird to move back into the open water, I'm gonna go ahead and load up my last roll of color negative into the Hasselblad. Scratch that. I'm gonna load up a roll of slide film into the Hasselblad and try and get this last little bit of light right here. Nope, going color negative. Going color negative. Half a second, 1 second, 15th. So I'm gonna stick with a quarter second. F32, 1/4 of a second. And the heron's head is just above the grasses. And for the last frame here, I'm just going to back off 1 stop just to be extra safe at 1/8 of a second, F32, ISO 100. For the love of God, I'm going to kill these bugs. Great. My goodness, this is incredible. Pros and cons. Pros of no wind is it's an absolutely gorgeous scene. Cons are the bugs are absolutely relentless. Okay, done with you for a minute. Okay, so I've moved over to the Hasselblad just to get this last little bit of light here on this curve, and I'll be focusing obviously a square crop here, and I want to make sure I get the heron off on the right. I put in Ectar. What the hell did I put in? It's either Ectar or Provia 100. I can't remember now. But either way, that light's hitting the trees. I got to move quick. So we are at F32, 100, 2 seconds, 1 second. Okay, I'm going to just bracket since I need to use 12 exposures anyway. Oh man, I'm an idiot. Made the mistake yesterday of not changing my f-stop when metering going between the two cameras, and I almost did it again. So I will be at f16, not 32. So it should be a 2-stop difference. So I'll be at 1/15 of a second, but I am going to bracket. Mirror lock. So now the sun has dropped below the horizon. I'm going to wait here just until we get this nice soft light. I'm going to wait until the sun is all the way below the trees, and then we should start getting, we're already starting to get this nice purple cast in the sky, and that will reflect in this perfectly calm water. It is beautiful. Damn bird doesn't want to leave that spot. I really would love if he would just move, but he won't. Yeah. Gosh, the color is absolutely beautiful. It's perfect for these types of conditions. I'm honestly trying to burn through this Ectar so that I can move over to the Provia, maybe even the Velvia, because the conditions are absolutely perfect for it. Ectar is done. All right, I'm loading up Velvia 50. This is one of my last 2 rolls, so hope I don't blow it. But the colors right now are perfect. So I've got Velvia 50, F11, 1 second. Our highlights are hitting a 30th. So I'm going to bring that down to 1/8. Okay, here are the 6x17. Obviously, this is Provia 100. I don't know why I loaded the sheet this way, they're out of order. So this was the first image, second, third, fourth, because that makes sense. But it's pretty incredible how much the light changed. This is probably about 20 minutes, and it's just drastically different. My two favorite frames are here on the bottom. I love the color in this image. The orange in the sky and the steel blue color. It's just perfect. Now this was at 90 millimeters. You can see I do have some vignetting which darkens the edges here. There's still shadow detail. I haven't lost anything, but there is definitely some vignetting. The only thing about this image that I don't like is that the bird, I know the bird seems like it shouldn't be such a big deal, but to me it is. The bird's head just barely sits above these reeds here. And then in this image here, we have the nice purple color, which to me just doesn't work as much. I really do prefer this color, but the bird is over here on the edge and is a lot more prominent. So that's a plus for this image. But I think overall, between the 6x17 images, this is my favorite, and this is the one that I'm going to ultimately scan and print. I just quickly wanted to show you, I know on the light table it can often look like the shadows have no detail, but this is the darkest part of the image, and you can see that there's still plenty of detail in these grasses. So overall there was plenty of latitude for the film, but I know that when you look on the light table, it just looks like that's pure black, but it's definitely not. There's plenty of detail there. Now let's look at the Hasselblad images. So as I mentioned in the field, I was bracketing this because I had to use this roll up. It was my last evening and didn't want to travel obviously with a half exposed roll. So I bracketed the scene. And although the colors are beautiful, and although I do think the composition is nice, it just doesn't work for me in a 6x6. I really prefer the 6x17 format for these images. To me, it just lacks something. I feel like there's not enough of the scene. The light is beautiful in the water, the light is beautiful in the sky, and I do like this leading line, but to me, these just don't compare to the scene in 6x17. So when you look at the two scenes side by side, I just feel like there's so much more in this image that draws you into the scene and holds your attention, and this just feels so peaceful, and I really enjoy looking at this image. This one just leaves me wanting more. And I often find that with 6x6 is that some scenes it works really well for, and others it doesn't. And for me, panos are the way I usually go, so I tend to prefer this format. But let me know in the comments which one you prefer. But as I mentioned, I think this for me was the image of the day.
Well, if you made it this far into the video, I first of all want to say thank you, and please consider subscribing to the channel. And as a small token of my appreciation, we can all sit here and laugh at my father stinking it up on the golf course. That's going to do it for me this week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend and get out there and make some images.